How's it going, everyone? I'm Donovan and this is How to Happy. In this video, I'm going to be talking about, are the possessions that you have actually making you happy? So I'm going to start off with a little story. There's a person that I know who owns a boat, right? And at first you might think, oh, that's really cool. But this person really has a lot of problems with their boat, right? They spend a ton of time fixing it up, trying to make it run. They take it out, it doesn't work. They have to take it to the shop. It's really expensive, right? They have all these kind of problems around it. Now, on top of that, he actually doesn't have a whole lot of time to use it, right? So he works quite a bit of the time. So he has this boat and he takes it out every once in a while, but it just has a ton of problems. So he's not really getting a ton of use out of it. And a lot of times he's frustrated because different things are going wrong with it. Now, I don't want to say that I necessarily know what's going on in someone else's head, but I would guess if you asked him, he would say that it's one of the possessions that he really values and prizes. Now, the interesting thing here is if you actually think about the moment-by-moment experiences that this person has with that object, the majority of them are going to be negative. I would guess he probably spends 90% of his time fixing things up, trying to get it to work when he actually does get to use it, which again is only a small amount of the time. So it's really interesting because if you were to ask him, he would probably say, this is an object that I really value a lot. But if you break down the moment by moment, that doesn't quite match up. It's not something that's bringing a lot of value. Now, I don't want to say necessarily that he shouldn't have that boat because maybe it is something that he still enjoys, right? He finds purpose in owning it. He enjoys all the upkeep, and et cetera, et cetera. However, for a lot of people, something like this is something that would just cause them a lot of frustration. And if they honestly ask themselves, is this specific possession making me happy? The answer might be no. It might not be worth all the extra effort and upkeep for something that's not really bringing you a lot of pleasure in the moment. A lot of times, just because we own something, we find ourselves being attached to it and thinking that we need to keep it. But if we actually ask ourselves, is this something that makes me happy, or is this something that I need to have for any particular reason? A lot of times we'll figure out that it's not. It's not making us happy, or we just don't really need it. So I want you to just kind of look around your house if you're at home or wherever you are, and kind of look at some of the things that you own and ask yourself, is this something that really brings me joy, that really brings me value, especially if it's something that you have to, invest extra time in, but also if it's something that, is just around, just adding clutter. I'll give you a personal example of exactly this type of thing, right? For years, I had this box that I kept, and when I moved, I took the box with me, but I kept this box and it was full of headphones. Now, that might sound useful, except that every single pair of headphones in that box was broken. And I kept telling myself, oh, I'll find a use for these. Oh, I'll get them fixed sometimes. And then every once in a while, like when I would move, I would get that box, open it up, and remember, oh wow, this is full of headphones. I'll try these out and see if any of them work, because maybe I put a pair of headphones in there that works. Every single time I would go through probably 20, 30, 40 pairs of headphones, and every single one was broken. So eventually, one time when I was moving, I had to ask myself, why am I taking this box of broken headphones around with me? Why do I care about this? Why am I not throwing it away? And I couldn't really come up with any answer besides that I had this just really weird personal attachment to it because I owned it, right? I had this idea that eventually I was going to fix them, even though I don't know anything about electronics, so I would never have even a hope of doing that, or that someone else would be able to use them because, right, everyone needs some broken headphones. But basically I kept this around for no reason, and once I got rid of it, it was so nice to not carry that box of broken headphones with me to the next place that I moved. Even at the last minute, as I went to throw that box away, I had this question pop into my head, like, what if I need it later? Which I already knew I didn't. So I just had to challenge that thought again and say, really, what am I going to use this for? What value has this ever brought me? The only thing that's ever happened is I've been frustrated trying these broken headphones and carrying around this junk with me. Now that might seem kind of like a ridiculous answer, but a lot of us have these little things like that. It may not be as excessive as an entire box of headphones, but a lot of us have something that we're attached to for some reason, but actually isn't providing us any value whatsoever. And a lot of times, like with the boat example, it's something that we're actually investing a lot of time into to get almost nothing out of. Obviously, you don't need to go crazy overboard and rehaul your entire house and look at every single object and throw out anything that doesn't have a super specific purpose. More so, the point of this video is just to get you thinking about things that you have that you may not need. Because as much as we can simplify and kind of reduce things, for a lot of us, that space and that lack of just stuff to manage is a lot more freeing and helps reduce stress a lot. And then if you have something, that you're spending a lot of time investing in that's not giving you back value just because for some arbitrary reason you feel like you need to have that thing, then we can get rid of those things and really free up a lot of space in our lives and really reduce our stress levels. So from time to time, you may just want to, take a look at your belongings, see if there's any little stuff you can clear out, take a look at some of the bigger items and see if there's anything that you can get rid of. So the point being that you might just want to periodically check, see if there's any smaller stuff that you can get rid of, and check, some of your bigger objects, properties, things that you have, and see if they're really providing value to you and if they're things that you actually enjoy. Let's move on to the exercise section. So the exercises for this video are: 1. Are there any possessions making you unhappy? Can you get rid of them? 2. Is there anything you know you should get rid of but feel too attached? Is there a compromise you can make, like having a photo of the object but throwing it out? So again, just in closing, take a little bit of time, look through some of your stuff, see if there's anything that you want to get rid of or anything that you can kind of minimize on that will help free up more of your time and more of your mental space. That's all I've got for this video. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, topics you want me to cover, feel free to throw them down in the box below and I will get to them as soon as possible, and I will see you next time.
You can check out more content at howtohappy.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. We've also got a Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook that you can check out. Reflect, take action, and enjoy life. See you next time.